Please stand by.
There's a war going on, and it is a cyber war, and it is for control of all information.
Masking IP.
The elite, they control the newspapers and TV.
IP hidden.
We control the internet. We see it all, we hear it all, and we have it all.
Establishing secure satellite connection.
We need you in this fight, in the fight between good versus evil.
Satellite connection established.
Now sit back and enjoy the show, because what we have to say is very important.
Began worldwide transmission.
Who are we? We are called renegades for a reason. The cyber war has begun, and you too have a choice to be shown the truth. You can take the blue pill, and the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I am offering is the truth and nothing more. John 8:32. And you will know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Welcome to the Renegade Network. I am Mr. X, and on tonight's show, I think we're gonna have a interesting couple topics to talk about. Let's go ahead and dive right on into it. Alright, on tonight's show, we're going to be talking about something that is Operation Crossfire. Operation Crossfire was enacted, I guess, about 9 months ago. And that has to do with, of course, UCP, United Constitutional Patriots, and how the weaponization of the internet, how the internet was weaponized. We're also going to be talking about analyzing multiple timelines with UCP, and how does Q fall into all of this. Now, before I go into go into a whole lot of detail, and try to bring some stuff to you, I don't know if you don't understand the plan. I've seen in many cases where I don't know what the plan is. I don't understand the plan. How can I follow Q? How can I follow a plan if I don't know it? Well, I hope tonight to show you with this Operation Crossfire how it was implemented against UCP, United Constitutional Patriots, and Larry Hopkins, or AKA Johnny Horton Jr. How it came to light, how it was orchestrated, like I said, from 9 months ago, or a little bit longer than 9 months ago. So, but before, like I said, before we get on into this even deeper, I want to say this. I am a patriot. I've given over 30 years to this damn country. I've been on the border 6 times. So I know what it's like to be boots on the ground. But I am going to tell you this. If you are a patriot out there, defrauding hard-earned working patriots, if you are lying, if you're in the patriot movement for a big head, you need to be worried. But if you're not, if you don't have nothing to worry about, if you're honorable, if your patriot group's flying an honorable flag, I will back you. The Renegades will back you. But don't be doing this for egos, because we've seen enough of it. And again, with Operation Crossfire, it's called that for a reason. It brings in a lot of people into the whole mix from way back in November or more, or maybe probably before November, that we knew if we anticipated and played the cards right and set things into motion, people was going to get caught in the crossfire. So yes, tonight I am going to talk to the people who was directly involved, that felt Operation Crossfire, that became caught up in the net, that became that that has their own personal feelings. They became personally involved in Operation Crossfire. And you know who you are. I don't have to call no names. Uh, and also, I'm going to be talking to the Q followers. Now, Q followers, what happened in the Patriot movement can affect Q movement as well. And the Q movement can affect the Patriot movement. So we all need to be cleaning up our own fucking messes. We don't need to be having all this stuff out there because the left, they're looking for anything and everything to use against us. So if we got somebody out there that we know shouldn't be out there, knowing that they're defrauding people, knowing that they're a felon, knowing need to shut them down, need to stop them, need to get them off the board. We knew Johnny Horton Jr. or Larry Hawkins. We knew that we needed to get him off the board. If you don't understand how multiple different timelines work and everything else, now don't miss mistaken what I'm saying. Analyzing multiple timelines doesn't mean that we're jumping on timelines and all that. No, it means in the plan. Hopefully with Q, this is the way you understand Q works in this same principle. There's not many people in the world that can analyze different timelines. And basically what it boils down to, folks, is you set in a vein of emotions. If a person was to have a sit down to dinner and have a choice between a Coke and a Sprite, well, they may drink the Coke and it may hurt their belly. They might not be able to miss a meeting or whatever. But if they drink a Sprite, they may be able to make that meeting and continue on. So, knowing that little theory, I'm just going ahead and run this little clip right here, and you can see clearly. There we go. Sorry about that. Like I said, when I'm live, it's it can be confusing.
Proposing that every possible alternate timeline for the universe is real, and they all happen in an ever larger, ever branching way. Like a universal choose your own adventure where every possible story happens. If this were the case, we might not realize it because we'd be stuck living out just one of the infinitely many possible lives available to us. In some ways, Many Worlds is similar to the bubble multiverse model by proposing maybe anything that can happen does, and we just happen to exist in a series of happenings that were necessary for us to exist.
All right. I hope. See. I'm not going to go into all that, but what I'm trying to get at in any plan, yes, Operation Crossfire is a plan. As Q is trying to take out DC and the crooked FBI, the crooked everybody, we're working on cleaning up our Patriot movement. So hopefully like I said, you will understand some of the plan when it comes to analyzing. You got to have contingencies. You got to have options in place so that if somebody doesn't necessarily choose and go to the path that you may think they're going to go, you got to have already be thinking way down the line of the chain, and maybe they can be steered back to where you need to and to accomplish your goal. All right, and humans, God gave us free will, okay? So humans, they're not very predictable at times, and some other times they are very predictable. Like Operation Crossfire, we're going to be talking, like I said, about their rock star, Larry Hawkins, or motherfucking Johnny Horton, all right? Well, he had to be taken off the board because if we didn't take him off the board, we knew way back some time ago, I think before November, that when he was already asking for donations, if you go look back through our videos, you will see where it says wanting to unite all constitutional patriots and followers and members. There we started questioning the money. Okay, we knew if we could start questioning that money, that would put a thought in their head, all right, in people's head. We knew that if he did not act and go do some of the stuff that we needed him to do. We needed him on the border, folks. We needed him to go to the border because of all the scenarios and everything that we were running, all the different branches on the limbs were pointing back. If we got him to the border, we knew he was going to fuck up. And I'm going to show you where we warned you. We even told you basically what we were doing. Now, Q has always said optics is everything. Now, here's, like I said, here's a chance to learn from this little Operation Crossfire. Maybe you'll get a bigger picture of what Q is trying to do. Optics is everything. If you got to put some disinformation out sometimes, and we know that, you know that. But when Q and the Q followers are under attack, Q has done warned you multiple times. Hey, Q, why do you think they're attacking us? Because they're they fear us. Yes, well, and also they kind of say it's a LARP and everything else. Well, I tell you what, Q is not LARPing, and we're not LARPing. Ask Mr. Hopkins. He is really facing, that's a real life, that's a real man in a real jail. He is feeling the pain. So, if you notice right there up on the screen, I have, it says, the group also peddles conspiracy theories and produces a radio show where members spread information about QAnon and accuses migrants of associating with ISIS. Hopkins also claimed that President Trump has first asked him about Muslims. Okay, see where it says about misinformation about Q. So see, they're already throwing the association with Q in the Patriot movement. Now, what started a lot of stuff was what really was the ticker. After the video, after we ran that Operation Crossfire video back in November, I think it was, I had him come on the show. And of course, that's what started everything, was when Mr. Hopkins, exclusive interview with Commander Johnny Horton Jr., Larry Hopkins of the United Constitutional Patriots, we streamed live on November 3rd, 2018. We knew if we could get him on the show, that would allow the other plans to go into effect, because we knew that he would probably call out some members. We knew that he would probably, well, I mean, it was in the thing we needed the crossfire to happen. We needed predictability that the Patriots would turn and the Patriots would infight. We knew that if we could cause that, then it's going to put more pressure on him to do something even more. And like I said, we needed him at the border because I have told him, I told him in that exclusive interview, and I want you to listen to what I tell him. Now, I'm going to run this little video clip, and it's a little short. I want you to realize I told him what was coming, and I want you to hear. Now, that things have come out. You remember that was ran, I just told you when that was aired. What has come out? A couple things. Felon with a firearm. He was arrested for it. And what did they slip in there? The attempted assassination plot of Clinton, Obama, and Soros, I think it is. So here is the exact warning I told him. You're working with the FBI, keeping tabs on a Patriot, Matt Johnson. How do you think they're going to react?
Oh, that's over with. That's over with. I got him cleared. Okay. I got him cleared. That's why he's still out there.
Okay,
I covered his ass.
But how they going to know that? I mean, how they going to react if they was to say, "Oh, Johnny, he's spying for the government. He's working for the government." If you're trying to get money from Trump and equipment, and then if you're trying to get money from, you see it, and keeping tabs on a Patriot.
Well,
how does that
the reason. Well, I agree, but I haven't even talked to. All I did is he called me. And I told him, I says, he hasn't done anything. He is good. I said, he's out there on the road working his butt off. And he said, okay. He said, no problem then. And that's the last time I heard from him.
Okay. But you know they are keeping tabs.
Hell, that's been, who, the FBI?
Yes.
No, not now. See, I was turned, okay, we had a guy come here, I can't remember his name. And he was an idiot. He made a video saying that we were going to go kill Hillary and all this shit. He put it on the internet. Next thing I know, I have the FBI knocking on my door.
Let me pull it up. Let me see what you're talking about. Hold on, let me check. All right, now you just heard where I warned him that the FBI was watching him. Who arrested him? The FBI. That was figured in Operation Crossfire. Like I said, we needed to get Mr. Hopkins to the border because if we did not get him to the border, he was going to cause a lot of other things. We needed to take him off the board. He was going to get somebody killed. He was going to cause an international incident, folks. Of course, everything that we looked at and figured out, Mr. Hopkins was going to get somebody killed. He's going to create an international incident, and we couldn't allow um, uh, that to happen because that's a lot of innocent lives that would have been lost for no reason. And I'm going to show you where where we anticipated Antifa. Okay, this SQ, as always says, optics is everything. This right here was a drop that I placed personally onto the page that showed it made people think. Okay, that was dropped on November 25th, 2018. Um, let me go ahead and let me read. Let me go on and do the next one. All right, there's the second one. You could go back to our page and actually verify all what I'm saying. Antifa. All right. It says, think Fast and Furious. Weapons ran across the border. Think about the cartel, MS-13, access to said weapons. Now put it all together. Once they fire across the border, the other side, MS-13, will fire, setting everything into motion. We know facts. One, there's bad people in that caravan. Second, we know that the caravan is being funded by Soros and possibly UN. Don't think for 1 second they hadn't already put this much time and money into the operation. Uh, so be careful who you follow. Like I said, that was done back. We knew that Antifa was going to get involved in this. We knew it. According to all the little scenarios and everything that we were running and all the branches, Antifa was going to, and here, this right here was just put out the other day. It shows from Vice News. Uh, it says, their actions came under scrutiny last week after Antifa surfaced video showing militia members rounding up hundreds of migrants at gunpoint. There you go. That was just, last week I think it was that came out. Now, we all know about the armed cartel escorting the the two individuals, the child and the mother. And as you see it right there running, this was from Border Patrol, and they're heavily armed. You see them with AK-47s and everything else. Now, if Hopkins and his group was been down there, it's not really going to matter because if they were to come across and they ran across this right here, of course they're going to defend themselves. I can't blame them. But it's going to set into a chain of events that it's going to be bad because the Patriots then will rile up and head down that way and continue on. We know about President Trump tweeting the other day about two uh, National Guard soldiers getting rounded up by the Mexican military. And he said it won't happen again because he's sending armed people down there. So now, knowing that We knew we had to take him off, the player off the board. We had to take Mr. Hopkins off the board. We knew we had to get him down to the border. We knew we had to, yes, there were some times that he about strayed off from the path, and we had to kind of nudge him back into that direction. Like right after the first time he went down there, and I think it was POTC, Patriots of the Constitution, and everything else, he about abandoned that border ops just then. But we needed to continue on and influence him in other ways to get him going. Now, as you remember, we took in consideration, think about this, we took in consideration of hopefully the crossfire effect happening. We knew that the Operation Crossfire, we would need it to work. We needed somebody to fire their guns and create crossfires. Now, he started taking crossfire from multiple different groups. He started taking crossfire from left-wing organizations. He started taking crossfire from everything, from different, just all, from even other patriots. So now this show was done on, it was from their actual YouTube live stream. It was streamed live on November 26, 2018, United Constitutional Patriots Radio. Uh, this next clip that I'm going to play, now, I don't know this individual personally that's on this, that's speaking here. I was at the Bundy Ranch, but I don't think me and him ever met. If we did, I don't remember it. So, I just want you to hear at how weaponization of the internet. You remember me telling you, you got to weaponize the internet. What I have just done, and what Q does, is we weaponize the internet. We, Q followers, you are his army. You're his weapon. If he says me more, you mean it. You send him out. You fire. You don't ask questions, and that becomes a weapon. It's a new tool in our toolbox. But many, like I said, many people does not have the ability or the special gift that a few of us have to anticipate and jump on a different timeline if things, if someone veers off, to jump back onto that and continue to have a contingency plan already in place to try to steer them back to where you need to be for them to go. But this Operation Crossfire, here's one of the effective tools, and here's where it was proven to have worked as weaponizing of the internet. Let me run that for you just a second. There you go.
Because he informed me he wasn't about to fire the best intel officer he's ever had.
Hold up, Chuck. Jim, I want to know who. All I want to know.
Oh, fuck who? You get me out of this.
Well,
I mean it, John. You know I mean it.
well, you're threatening to come up and kill every one of us, and we're repeating what we're told.
You get my name out of here. I will be up there in 48 fucking hours. There won't be no fucking knock on the door. Now you get me out of this. My name is not that bad. My name has never used to be stolen. I never stole a fucking bag from a soul. You know that.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Fucking name out of here, and you tell.
Let me ask you a question.
And I'm coming to get him personally.
Let me ask you a question. Okay, why wouldn't she disclose how much money she got that was sent to her when we asked?
$1,800. I told you that.
All right. You see how we, back in November, brought up the question of money, how we started using that to our advantage. Now you see how Crossfire has actually crossed them. I guess they were allies. I mean, because, or friends or whatever. But you just heard that exchange between him and the other guy. and this is just an example of how weaponization of the internet is. It doesn't take much, and because the Patriots and the Q followers and even the left can be vicious, we have seen it. I have seen it. Now I have the last show on this one right here. If you look at the title, look at the title. It says Johnny Horton. This was published on March 13th in 2019. Okay, Johnny Horton Jr. of UCP, United Constitutional Patriots. Now comes the pain. All right, you notice that title there. I knew now that we had him down on the border. I knew then he was just fixing to fuck up. I knew then he was going to it was over with. He's through. But we needed to take him off the board, folks. We needed to take him off the board because he was giving us a bad name. He was giving the good Patriots out there a bad name. If we don't need that. We need to clean up our image again in the Patriot movement and in the Q followers. Now here is where I warned. I just want you to listen to this little clip. Right since then. And tonight, like I said, we're going to go ahead and lay out even a stronger case for you. And hopefully, you will know somebody in the organization and they need to distance themselves because what is coming, folks, is going to come at them hard. And, you know, Johnny being a felon down on the border around all the firearms, it's not going to look good. He's going to wind up getting somebody killed. You got guys. All right, now you see where I told you, right there, right then, on that in March, a felon with a firearm. What did the FBI arrest him with? A felon with a firearm. Now remember, I just played another clip earlier about him saying the FBI came to the house, knocked on the door about him, Obama and Clinton and Soros, and you see the charges, or you see them mentioning that in the court papers as well. So, and again, like I said, I am going to be basically talking to a couple of groups of people here. The people that was actually involved, that got caught up in the net. You may not have thought you'd been played, but you played into the plan. You was part of the plan. As Q always says, trust the plan. I needed you to act. I needed you to fulfill that part of the plan, the overall process. In order to do what we needed to do, you was a key. Like in the Q followers, you were the key to Q's plan. Now, I hope you kind of can see it how things work, and you got some little understanding of how things can come together, so that you're not in doubt. Because again, I've said, and I've seen it, and you've probably seen it. Q says in 17 days something big, something that's going to happen, whatever, and then it counts down, and it does not happen. Well, I'm surprised you have not figured that out yet. It's not Q's fault. Because when you're looking at multiple branches and multiple plans, multiple different 4D, 5D chess is basically what we're playing here, okay? When you're looking at multiple different links, if they choose the Sprite versus the Coke, that throws that you have to jump on the other line and make and try to correct their actions from then on. So I have warned, like Deborah Robinson, Doc, I think that is. Now, the last show that I ran, I want you to hear what I told her. Deborah Robinson, Doc. You see right here, if you look at her screenshot, it's saying that it's a commander has been hard on the border. Commander has been upfront and honest about his past mistakes over 50 years ago. Well, not so true, Deborah. I think you need to get your facts straight. If you look up in your top left-hand corner, there's Mr. Hopkins' record, or aka Johnny Horton Jr.'s record, running, as you see. Now, it wasn't in 50 years ago. He was arrested in 2006. Now, I don't know what kind of education you got or what school you went to, but my math tells me from 2006 to 2019, that's not motherfucking 50 years ago. I mean, you might, unless you're doing some common core bullshit, I don't know. But you need to quit misleading the followers. And see, that's what's going to happen. What's going to happen when he's done, when you served your usefulness? You're going to get caught up, and I want you to remember tonight. I want you to remember this. I want you to remember me saying this. You will regret it. You're going to say, damn, I should have listened to Mr. X. I should have, because now I'm caught up in all this stuff, and I'm a loyal follower and everything else. See, it says right here, it says 2006 he was arrested. All right. You see, in May, I warned her, personally warned her to, she needed to distance herself, what was coming. I tried to inform her what was coming. And I've tried to inform all the followers of UCP of what was coming. Because you got to, one, know your enemy. If you study your enemy, that's the key. You got to understand them first. Now, I am going to say a couple more things to General Kelly. If you're thinking about expanding or growing and filling in a vacuum that was left behind by Mr. Hopkins, I'd advise you strongly to rethink that situation. I'd advise you to go underground and just deal with your little small group that you got and not worry about trying to grow anymore. Because tonight, it's been this whole operation Crossfire and everything else. I have been fighting with it because I can enact it, I can put the plans together, but for me to actually break it down and to explain it to you, it's kind of I don't know how to make it simple sometimes, or to break to like I said, keep it simple, and to get this right here out there to you, to let you know what some people are capable of doing, uh, and the same with Q and what he's capable of doing. You need to be aware of it, and it need to be brought to your attention. And I am going to catch probably hell. I'm going to have people um, uh, call me, why am I hiding behind the mask? Why am my voice changed? Are you afraid? Are you this? Are you that? No, I'll tell you why. Because the Patriot movement and the Q movement is much bigger than one person. Okay? My face is not important. My voice is not important. What's important is you, our future, and our kids' future. And I will say this to the people. Um, Let me go ahead and bring this on up so I can read it. It says, I neither have the time nor to explain myself. I'll let you read all that. I can't read it. It's too small on my screen. But anyway, you could either pick up a weapon and stand your post, or just simply say thank you for me trying to protect your freedom. And because I can give a rat's head, I can give a damn what somebody's entitled to. Um, because it has to be done. Some things need to be done. I may be a villain. I may be a villain, but you know what? When you're working and you're giving 30 years to this damn country, and you get some papers from somebody in chief that says you need to retire or resign because we don't like the way you're leaning. You know, Hussein is all I'm going to say. There's a 16-year plan in action, correct? We know what was going to happen in 16 years. If that meant for us to become renegades to some of the higher ranking officers, if that meant for us to be renegades to fight Hussein and the Democratic wing while he's still president, then we're considered renegades. But I can truly tell you, we are patriots. Now, I don't know how else to explain it. Drop questions. Please follow us on our Facebook page. Because I want to wish each and every one of you a good night and safe travels.
Let that click roll.
You can't cage us. You can't cage us. No. You can't cage us like an animal. You can't cage us like an animal. No, you better back down or break through these walls. You better move like my name was Biggie Smalls. I'm like the god of Grease running around, holding it down, ready to smite your sound. I'm raging. I kill him every single time I'm off the leash. This dog bites even the hand that feeds. Beyond the streets, we get it on the beach, and then we take it down to the Isle of Creek. Cause I celebrate and lift my hands and revelate the sacred land. Cause I wanna break free, it's in my human nature. I'm gonna fight it cause I'm naughty by nature. And it's not cause I hate you and I wanna debate you, but I wanna detain you, take you straight to Albania. Yeah, I'm gonna rage. You better watch it cause I'm breaking out this cage. You can't cage us. You can't cage us. No. You can't cage us like an animal. You can't cage us like an animal.
Propped on the block where the pigs eat slop. Straight off the floor of the office at the top. Like they're walking a dog with the leash on. Like a reverend getting his preach on. Wrapped around my neck, it's like a high-tech way to sign a blank check. Waiting for a subject never ceases to amaze us. That all we left with is peanuts. Half of the time you defy, it's a sci-fi time when you fight for your right. So with all your might, we're breaking out of these chains because we're so out of here. No, nothing can hold us down.